وَلَا تُؤْتُوا السُّفَهَاءَ أَمْوَالَكُمْ الَّتِي جَعَلَ اللَّهُ لَكُمْ قِيَامًا. And don't hand over your properties to the feeble-minded. Sufaha, foolish, feeble-minded, retarded mentally. There are people. Perhaps an orphan is retarded in mind, mentally retarded. His father had left much property for him. Now if you hand over that property to this person, he will spoil it because he doesn't have the intelligence and the understanding and the wisdom and the maturity of thinking. Don't hand over the property to such people. In these type of cases, that during the British Raj in India, there was court of war. If there was such minor people who inherited big properties, those properties were not left at their own like or dislike, at their own disposal. But the government managed it for them, and they were allowed only annual expenditure out of the income of that property. That was called court of war. And this is something which is necessary in a society, because there can be people who don't know what is good for them, what is bad for them. وَلَا تُؤْتُوا السُّفَهَاءَ أَمْوَالَكُمُ الَّتِي جَعَلَ اللَّهُ لَكُمْ قِيَامًا. These properties, these belongings, these things Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made a support for you in this world. So if you give them over to these people who are not mentally fit, who are not mentally up to mark, then you are spoiling it. And this is going to be a loss to the community, not to the individual alone. وَارْزُقُوهُمْ فِيهَا. But you feed them from that. وَاكْسُوهُمْ, and clothe them. Give the proper clothing, give the proper food out of the income of that property. وَقُولُوا لَهُمْ قَوْلًا مَعْرُوفًا. And say to them kind words. Don't be harsh to them, although they are mentally retarded. But don't be harsh to them. You have to treat them gently. وَقْتُلُوا الْيَتَامَى حَتَّى إِذَا بَلَغُوا النِّكَاحَ. And keep on testing the orphans till such time that they come of age, they reach the age of marriage, they reach the age of puberty. Now they are not minors, they are adults. فَإِنْ آنَسْتُمْ مِنْهُمْ رُشْدًا. If you see that they are intelligent, they can very well understand what is good for them, what is bad for them. فَادْفَعُوا إِلَيْهِمْ أَمْوَالَهُمْ. Now hand over to them their property, which was in your custody. It was the property of the orphan. His father had left that property for him, but because he was a minor, you were the guardian, you were the custodian. But now when he has come of age, and now he has reached the age of puberty, hand over their property to them. وَلَا تَأْكُلُوهَا إِسْرَافًا. Don't eat it up israfan, extravagantly. وَبِدَارًا أَن يَكْبَرُوا. And hastily, fearing that they may become majors, they become adults, so that you are finishing it up before they become adults. Don't do it. These were the things that were being done over there. These were the social evils in that society. And now when Muslims had a society of their own, a system of their own, a state of their own, so to say, now the society had to be reformed from all respects. You see how much detailed the Quran is giving these instructions. Don't do any injustice to any section of the society, especially the weaker section. Women are weak. So are the orphans. وَابْتَلُوا الْيَتَامَى حَتَّى إِذَا بَلَغُوا النِّكَاحَ فَإِنْ آنَسْتُم مِّنْهُمْ رُشْدًا فَادْفَعُوا إِلَيْهِمْ أَمْوَالَهُمْ وَلَا تَأْكُلُوهَا إِسْرَافًا وَبِدَارًا أَن يَكْبَرُوا وَمَنْ كَانَ غَنِيًّا فَلْيَسْتَعْفِفْ. If a guardian of an orphan is himself rich and self-sufficient, he should abstain and he should not take anything out of the property of the orphan whom he is looking after. But وَمَنْ كَانَ فَقِيرًا, if some guardian is poor and he is devoting his time, he is looking after the property of the orphan, so he can take something on that account from the property of the orphan. وَمَنْ كَانَ فَقِيرًا فَلْيَأْكُلْ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ. But then they should do it in a good way. Not that they are drawing heavy sums and heavy salaries out of the property just and fair. فَإِذَا دَفَعْتُمْ إِلَيْهِمْ أَمْوَالَهُمْ, and when you have handed over to them their properties, فَأَشْهِدُوا عَلَيْهِمْ, take witnesses, lest the orphan says, no, he didn't give it to me. The detailed instructions. These are real matters, real problems. How many disputes can arise? So have witnesses that this was the property left by his father. Today, I am handing it over. You be witnesses to it. Ashhidu alayhim wa kafa billahi hasiba. And Allah is sufficient to reckon. He will take the account himself also. Don't think that if you have kept an account of the property of the orphan and you have the witnesses also, and now there's no other place where you are answerable and responsible. On the day of judgment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will also take the account. Had you taken it justly or not? لِلْرِجَالِ نَصِيبٌ مِمَّا تَرَكَ الْوَالِدَانِ وَالْأَقْرَبُونَ. For men is also a portion from what was left by their parents or near relatives. Now this is the law of inheritance which will be discussed in detail in the second section. This is just a preamble for that. لِلْرِجَالِ نَصِيبٌ مِمَّا تَرَكَ الْوَالِدَانِ وَالْأَقْرَبُونَ. Both the parents, father and mother, whatever they have left. Now men also have a share from that inheritance. وَلِلنِّسَاءِ نَصِيبٌ مِمَّا تَرَكَ الْوَالِدَانِ وَالْأَقْرَبُونَ. And in the same way, women have also a share. Now this is a very big reform which was being done by Islam. Because before Islam, there was no share of inheritance for women. There's still no share in inheritance in Hindus till this time. No share. The inheritor is only the male, and in most of the cases, only the eldest son. Even the smaller sons and younger sons and daughters, they are just deprived of everything, so that the holding remains big. It is not divided and distributed. That is the custom in many societies. But Quran says no. لِلْرِجَالِ نَصِيبٌ مِمَّا تَرَكَ الْوَالِدَانِ وَالْأَقْرَبُونَ وَلِلنِّسَاءِ نَصِيبٌ مِمَّا تَرَكَ الْوَالِدَانِ وَالْأَقْرَبُونَ مِمَّا قَلَّ مِنْهُ أَوْ كَثُرَ. Whether that property or whatever has been left by the parents or the relatives is small or great, it doesn't matter. Howsoever small it is, you have to divide it according to the divine law. If it is great, it has to be divided. If it is small, مِمَّا قَلَّ مِنْهُ أَوْ كَثُرَ. Don't think, oh, it's a very small thing, why to divide it? No. This is the commandment of Allah. نَصِيبًا مَفْرُوضًا. These portions, they have been ordained by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's not a human law that can be amended and changed. It has been decreed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. فَإِذَا حَضَرَ الْقِسْمَةَ أُولُو الْقُرْبَى وَالْيَتَامَى وَالْمَسَاكِينَ. And when at the time of division of the inheritance, some relatives also come and they are present, and there are some orphans also. They are not the inheritors, not the son, not the daughter of the deceased, but they are of orphans of the family. They may be related, but a distant relations. وَالْمَسَاكِينَ, or the poor. If they are present, destitutes are also present, give them also. فَارْزُقُوهُمْ مِنْهُ وَقُولُوا لَهُمْ قَوْلًا مَعْرُوفًا. Give something out of that inheritance to them also, and talk to them in a very gentle way. Kind words. الَّذِينَ لَوْ تَرَكُوا مِنْ خَلْفِهِمْ ذُرِّيَّةً ضِعَافًا. And those who are dividing that property now, they should fear Now this is khashiyah. Khashiyah means fear. Khawf means fear. If they should think about it, that had they been in the place of this person deceased, and had they been leaving behind them minor sons or daughters, how much they would be fearing about their future. Khafu alayhim. A man is dying and he is leaving minor sons, minor daughters. How much he will be mindful about the future of these kids. Who will look after them? They need protection. They need support. I am dying. Who will look after them? So you should keep it in mind. So now if the other orphans are coming, they were also the sons of some deceased person. Be kind to them, so that if that time comes, God forbid, but if that time comes for your kids and sons and daughters, people will be kind to them also, if you are kind to the orphans today. وَلْيَخْشَى الَّذِينَ لَوْ تَرَكُوا مِنْ خَلْفِهِمْ ذُرِّيَّةً ضِعَافًا خَافُوا عَلَيْهِمْ فَلْيَتَّقُوا اللَّهَ. So that they should have regard of Allah. وَلْيَقُولُوا قَوْلًا سَدِيدًا. And they must say the correct words, the straight words. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ يَأْكُلُونَ أَمْوَالَ الْيَتَامَى ظُلْمًا. Verily those who are eating up the property of the orphans, ظُلْمًا إِنَّمَا يَأْكُلُونَ فِي بُطُونِهِمْ نَارًا. They are filling their bellies with fire. وَسَيَصْلَوْنَ سَعِيرًا. And they shall enter a blazing fire. Don't think that if you have consumed the property of the orphan, well, you have consumed it. No, this is not the property of the orphan that you have consumed and put in your bellies. It's the fire of hell. It will appear on the day of judgment. They were the living cinders of fire.